Kent State students are demanding a ceasefire in Gaza during a protest held on campus. What stories students shared to bring awareness? The U.S. pledged to continue supporting Ukraine after meeting with some leaders. What they talk about and how the meeting went.
Severe thunderstorms are rolling throughout the southern part of the United States, along with possible tornado warnings. More on the weather across the nation later on.
And President Biden granted presidential pardon to 2 turkeys to get the Thanksgiving festivities started. All this and more as TV2 News starts right now.
This is TV2 News.
Good evening, Portage County, and welcome to your Monday evening newscast. I'm Nuria Tortado.
And I'm Dom O'Brien.
We start our coverage tonight with a protest on campus in support of Palestine.
That's right, and our reporter Skylar Eddington has more on the story and what this means for the Kent State community. Hi, Skylar.
Hi guys, yes, several student organizations on campus came together to protest against the Israel-Hamas war. Take a look.
Palestine! Free, free Palestine!
Free Palestine, a phrase that was chanted this afternoon on the K by student protesters demanding a ceasefire in Gaza. Students designed and brought signs to the protest pleading to free Palestine. The protest also consisted of several speakers, each expressing their concerns and the importance of a ceasefire.
It's just really sad to see people still thinking that they're able to be neutral on an issue as big as this, considering 13,000 people have died. This morning alone, a hospital was bombed.
A student shared his story of being attacked by a missile by Israeli forces when he lived in Palestine.
Luckily, I only ended up with a 2nd-degree burn to the back of my thigh. And although the physical scar on the back of my thigh has now faded, the mental scar still remains. If they did that to me, an American, imagine what they do to Palestinians living there who have been indigenous to this land for thousands of years.
Students then called for action by U.S. leaders.
We have flags, we have signs with us today. That is what we are holding up. But tomorrow, I want you all to hold up a mirror to the people in power. Hold up a mirror to our elected officials so that they can see that they are being complicit in a genocide. They are being complicit when injustice is being spread across the globe.
The organizations will be holding several more protests and informative events throughout the rest of the school year. Reporting for TV2, I'm Skylar Eddington. Back to you guys at the desk. Thank you, Skylar. Now moving into Stowe. A Stowe Monroe student has been safely isolated in a hospital on Sunday after he threatened 5 other students. School administrators, parents, and students are working with the Stowe Police Department in the investigation. The school superintendent sent a letter to the parents, and despite the threat, school was in session on Monday, with counselors available at the high school for students and staff.
And a Toledo priest was sentenced to life in prison Friday after being convicted of grooming. The U.S. Justice Department says Reverend Michael Zacharias is convicted of grooming 3 boys and taking advantage of their opioid addictions to force them into commercial sex. According to prosecutors, the allegations spanned about 15 years. Zacharias was placed on administrative leave from his role in the diocese and as a pastor in Toledo.
Good evening, Kent State and Portage County. I hope you're all having a wonderful day. I'm Nicholas Kill with your Monday weather forecast. Let's kick it right off with currently in Kent. Currently in Kent, we have it feeling with a 39 degrees and it feeling like 34. Dew point is at 24 degrees. Wind is going east at 7 miles per hour. Humidity is at 52% and the visibility is currently at 10 miles. Tomorrow we're going to have 49 degrees with rain and wind all day. We are going to have some pretty high winds. We're going to have them going southeast at around 22 miles per hour. The sunset will be at 5:02 p.m. And 8 p.m. tonight, we're going to have 39 degrees with cloudy skies. Midnight, we're going to have 40 degrees with cloudy skies. And 8 a.m. tomorrow, we are going to have some showers with it being 39 degrees. That's all I have for now, but make sure to stick around for the rest of your Monday forecast. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thank you, Nick. Main Street Kent held another event this past weekend to celebrate Teachers Appreciation Week.
Our own Joe Malbin visited Main Street Kent and has more on what was celebrated. Hi, Joe.
Hey guys. Teachers and educators were in for a treat this past weekend as Main Street Kent held their Educator Appreciation Weekend. Select businesses provided special deals for those working in education. Businesses offering deals included Branded at Kent, who offered a 20% discount on vintage items as well as a free bracelet with any purchase. Other businesses taking part in the sale include Daisy Pops, Tiger Ray, Sun and Leo, and many others. I spoke with Daisy Pops owner Amy Mucha on the importance of Educator Appreciation Weekend.
I mean, teachers are, I don't necessarily want to say that they are like underappreciated because I feel like a lot of people appreciate them. But it's a really tough job.
Appreciation Weekend ran this past weekend from November 17th to November 19th. Reporting on Everything Weekend, I'm Joe Malbin. Back to Nuriette and Dom at the desk.
Well, thank you, Joe. With the holidays coming up, residents are likely looking for gifts to give their loved ones this season. Well, the Record Courier might have you covered. They made a list of 10 off-the-beaten-path businesses who welcome customers who are looking for that perfect gift. Some businesses include the Northside Marketplace, Sir Troy's Toy Kingdom, Rooted Oaks, and several more. You can find the rest on recordcourier.com. And this week families are getting ready for Thanksgiving, but those who own Christmas tree farms are prepping for their busiest season of the year.
That's right. Our own Erin Sullivan has more.
With Thanksgiving just being a week away, TV2 decided to visit some Portage County Christmas tree farms to see how they're prepping for their busy season.
River Run Tree Farm in Manaway is all hands on deck as their opening day arrives Thanksgiving weekend.
When you come out to the farm, we have sleds and saws and as well as kneeling pads, so people will take those out into the field and choose the tree that they want.
All week, workers have been cleaning up the trees to make sure no wildlife or extra debris from the field is hidden between the branches.
We have our shop, so right now the staff is in the shop getting things ready so that people can come in if they want some different unique handmade gifts. We have those available in the shop.
And in Streetsboro, Lindsay's Christmas Tree Farm received a shipment of over 200 trees from Pennsylvania.
Now the Lindsay family tells me this is their busiest time of the year, just getting ready for those customers that are going to be driving in and picking up trees, wreaths, and other holiday decorations.
Workers cut, reshaped trees, and shook away loose pine needles before being put on display. Their opening day is the Friday after Thanksgiving.
Probably the last 3 to 4 years, we've sold out early. Last year, I think we had 5 trees left over.
And at Lindsay's, nothing goes to waste. All tree trimmings and clippings are made into garland or homemade wreaths. And this is the perfect opportunity for Dawn Lindsay to get creative.
There are bows that I use on our wreaths. They're all hand-tied, and I do a different variety of bows.
She mixes different clippings and decorations for each wreath.
And then you just build up the wreath as you go along.
Reporting in Streetsboro, I'm Erin Sullivan for TV2 News.
Well, Christmas tree farms are not the only ones getting busy with holidays coming up. Many different businesses are popping up with different holiday themes all across Northeast Ohio. Even though there are not any holiday theme bars or any places like that around this area, there are some popping up in Cleveland, like the Christmas Corner Bar, Winter Wonderland Bar, and Miracle on 4th Street. Most of them opened last weekend, but there are some others that will open as soon as Thanksgiving is over.
And after facing a possibly challenging year for farming in Ohio, farmers are learning their efforts have mostly paid off. According to a crop progress report published by the U.S. Department of Agriculture, Ohio's corn harvest was 85% complete, and the soybean harvest was 95% complete. Director of Marketing and Communications Marlene Ike says, quote, Ohio is expected to have a new record corn yield at 195 bushels per acre, end quote.
With Thanksgiving, there's a lot of waste going on across the country, according to REFED, an organization from New York that studies food waste. Americans threw away about 305 million pounds of food last Thanksgiving Day. And one of the simplest ways to reduce food waste this Thanksgiving is by planning ahead. It starts with deciding how many people will attend your dinner and how much food they will want to eat.
With another holiday on the way comes more people traveling to meet with their loved ones. And AAA predicts this Thanksgiving will see the third highest volume of travelers on the road since 2000. While drivers steer clear of ongoing construction projects, they also need to keep their eyes on the road because of the Ohio distracted driving law. Fines can be added up to $500 for distracted driving. Coming up, negotiations between Israel, the U.S., and Hamas are going well in regards to getting citizens back home. More details under discussion later.
The Earth is warming at an alarming rate according to a new study. What this means for the upcoming months and how it would affect your daily life.
I don't remember how it started.
Go to that.
Our back and forth. It always came back.
Dad!
You probably don't remember what you told me,
That was perfect.
but I heard every word.
Fancy pants peanut butter? A big screen television? You haven't even bought a sofa yet. A motorcycle? When your father finds out, he's gonna flip his shoes with 2 buckles? What do you even need 2 buckles for? Mr. Big Shot, buying whiskey shots for everybody in the bar. From the looks of it, I'd say nobody even remembers. Feed the pig.
Tomorrow's news leaders.
Today's top stories.
From an award-winning student newsroom.
This is TV2 News, truly Portage County.
Welcome back. Overseas, the wars in Ukraine and Israel are ongoing, and we have updates on each of these conflicts.
Yes, and our own correspondent Tyler Schlosser has more on this and other international headlines. Hi, Tyler.
Hey, you guys. Tonight we've got stories on both conflicts that have dominated world discourse for the past 2 years, the Ukraine-Russia war and the Israel-Hamas war. Shifting conflicts, the hostage negotiations between Israel, the U.S., and Hamas are allegedly going better than they have ever been. CNN's Rick Damigella has more. Regarding the U.S.'s prolonged support for Ukraine in their war to resist Russian occupation, earlier today, the U.S. Secretary of Defense met with Ukrainian officials and renewed the U.S.'s pledge of support. He did so via the promise of a $100 million defense package. This is one of the smallest packages the U.S. has presented, but it was accompanied by assurances that previously developed, quote, capabilities, end quote, would soon begin to come online throughout 2024.
Talks have intensified recently for the release of hostages being held by Hamas. The White House says officials have been working around the clock to secure their release.
What I can say about this at this time is we think that we are closer than we have been perhaps at any point since these negotiations began weeks ago.
Hamas abducted about 240 people, including some Americans, during the October 7 attacks, according to Israeli officials, though official accounts have varied as intelligence in Gaza develops.
I really believe that it's time for the Israeli government and the United States government to work out a fair deal to bring some of these hostages home.
Pressure is growing on Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu to reach a deal for their safe return. Qatar has been acting as a mediator between Israel, Hamas, and the United States.
There are areas of difference and disagreement that have been narrowed, if not closed out entirely.
Family members have grown impatient as they worry about their loved ones being held.
For me, yeah, of course I'm frustrated. I want to see them home now.
And the war continues to rage in Gaza. On Saturday, a blast occurred at a United Nations-run school being used as a shelter in Gaza. It is unknown what caused the blast, and Israel says an investigation is underway.
We're also in touch with the Israelis to try to find out what they know about what happened. Is that if harm was done to innocent civilians sheltering at a UN site, that would be totally unacceptable.
I'm Rick Damigella reporting.
Currently in Palestine, citizens are having to ship out newborn babies for them to have a chance of survival. Today, 28 newborns were sent to Egyptian hospitals to receive necessary care and were accompanied by an escort of just 4 mothers and 6 nurses. This is a notable exception, as Egyptian borders are currently closed to Palestinian refugees. To provide some context, the region being unsafe for vulnerable populations, we have a more directly violent event to cover. The Palestinian-run Indonesian hospital is currently under siege by Israeli tanks. Earlier today, a volley of tank fire killed 11 patients and 1 staff member. Their electricity is cut, their infrastructure is damaged, and they have no means of escape. And that's all the international coverage I have for tonight. From KSU's TV2 News, I'm Tyler Schlosser. Keep looking out, Portage County.
The world briefly broke the 2-degree warming limit for the first time, according to preliminary data. That's the critical threshold scientists have been warning for decades could have catastrophic impacts on the planet. While this shows the planet is getting hotter, it does not mean the world is at a permanent state of warming above 2 degrees.
More than 20 million people in the U.S. are at risk of severe storms and possible tornadoes Monday. The National Weather Service's Storm Prediction Center says thunderstorms are likely to blow across Texas before marching through the southeast. Damaging winds and large hail are also possible. This is the same storm system that dropped heavy snow in the Rockies over the weekend. Parts of Utah, Nevada, and Colorado saw nearly a foot of snow.
Welcome back to TV2 Weather, so you stay informed before the storm. Let's jump right back in with currently in Northeast Ohio. Currently in Sandusky we have 42 degrees, in Mansfield we have 41, Worcester we have 40, 44 degrees in Cleveland, 39 in Kent, Ohio, 41 in Youngstown, 41 in Canton, and 40 in Ashtabula. Right now statewide we have 40 degrees in Akron, 43 degrees in Steubenville, 48 degrees in Athens, 49 degrees in Columbus, 42 in Lima, 46 in Dayton, and 45 in Cincinnati. Now for the 7-day forecast. Tuesday we're going to have some rain and wind. We're going to have a high of 48, low of 42. Wednesday we're going to have some showers, high of 45, low of 32. Thursday we're going to have mostly sunny skies, high of 49, low of 31. Friday we're going to have cloudy skies, high of 42 with a low of 27. Saturday, going into the weekend, we're going to have partly cloudy skies with a high of 41 and a low of 27. Sunday, we're going to have a high of 43 degrees and a low of 29 with more cloudy skies. And on Monday, we're going to have a high of 41 degrees with a low of 27. And we're going to have partly cloudy skies. Now, that's all I have for today, but hope you all have a fantastic night. From the Franklin Hall studio, I've been Nick Heller. Stay groovy, Portage County. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thank you, Nick. President Joe Biden presided over the annual White House Thanksgiving tradition of the turkey pardon earlier today. Liberty, a 42.5-pound turkey, and Belle, 42.1 pounds, got the presidential pardon on the White House South Lawn as a way to kick off Thanksgiving celebrations. This year's marked the 76th anniversary of this event.
And staying with the president, Joe Biden has turned 81 today. He's marking the milestone with a low-key family celebration, along with the time-honored pre-Thanksgiving annual turkey pardon, like we mentioned before. Biden's age has been an issue among voters as he campaigns for another term in the White House. Biden is already the oldest president in history, and if he's elected in 2024, he would be 86 at the end of his second term.
Well, not everything is great for current President Biden. As new polling shows, President Biden is facing a near-historic deficit in his re-election bid if he faces off against former President Donald Trump next year. Multiple polls show Trump leading Biden between 2 and 4 points among likely voters. Those figures buck the usual trend when incumbents at this point in their presidency have on average led their eventual challengers by more than 10 points.
And Governor Greg Abbott will endorse former President Donald Trump as he runs again in 2024. The endorsement comes after Trump has promised to enact several hardline immigration policies, such as re-implementing Title 42, a COVID health policy, and building more border walls. Both Abbott and Trump blamed the current White House for the record numbers of migrant crossings at the border.
We'll take a look at how the Kent men's basketball team fared in their games over the weekend in the Virgin Islands. Could they bring home 3 wins? Find out next.
And Hong Kong Disneyland just announced their new chili frozen experience. More details on how they opened this store next.
Brush, brushy, brush, brushy, brush, brush your teeth. Every day and every night. Now it's your parents' turn. Here's what you gotta do. Let them have your toothbrush so that they can brushy brush your teeth. Good job, you're almost done. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That's it. Help your teeth stay healthy. Brushy brush with a grown-up every day.
Don't let salmonella get funky with your chicken. On average, 1 in 6 Americans will get a foodborne illness this year. So learn the right temperature to cook each type of meat. Keep your family safe at foodsafety.gov.
To Maddie, congrats on paying off all those student loans.
Finally, right?
How'd you manage that anyway?
I started tracking my spending, changed a couple of habits.
Wow, I'm kind of living paycheck to paycheck right now. I don't even know how I'm doing it.
Well, have you tried saving a little?
I want to, but where's that money gonna come from? Bill collectors, they're the worst. Am I right?
When it comes to financial stability, don't get left behind.
Not home.
Get tools and tips for saving at feedthepig.org.
Hey, did you know that 2.4 million loving cats and dogs in shelters and rescues need our help to find a home? Go to theshelterpetproject.org and search your local shelters and rescues. Go for a cuddle with your next best friend. Adopt.
And now, your TV2 Sports Report.
Hello, everyone, and from Kent basketball to Kent football, and a look at the low-scoring battle on the lake in Cleveland between the Browns and the Steelers, and some Thanksgiving football. Let's get the fall ball rolling on sports. We head to the Virgin Islands, where Kent is currently finishing up their final game of a 3-game tournament. On Friday, Kent gave Hampton a crushing defeat, winning by a stunning 100-62. Chris Payton led the charge in this one with 20 points and 8 rebounds, and Claron Hornbeek and Jalen Solinger also helped out, each knotting 10-plus points. However, in the second game of the tournament, Missouri got the best of Kent to the final of 56-52. Scoring was hard to come by for both teams, and more so Kent in this one. Claron Hornbeek led the scoring with 11 points, and Davis Von Cameron had his best effort with 8 rebounds, but it wasn't enough for Kent. And yet the Flashes still have a chance to claim in the third game, with their final game of the tournament having just started moments ago against Fordham University. That tipped off at 5:45. Flashes will head to the Virgin Islands. They went in with a 2-1 record, and they look to leave 4-2. And from Kent basketball to football, this has been a season to forget for the Flashes, unfortunately, but they have an opportunity to make it not quite as putrid as one may think. If Kent can pull off an upset victory, and it's a big upset victory this weekend over Northern Illinois, they can avoid having a one-win season for the first time since 2005. That final game is this Saturday at Dick's Stadium. And from Kent football to Browns football, and that electric Steelers-Browns matchup we had there, you see it. Jerome Ford starting off the scoring with a touchdown, getting him on the board, and it's the extra point to make it 7. And then quickly up, 10-0 was the Browns just before halftime there. A 10-0 lead over the Steelers. It was low scoring all game, folks. Neither team could really get any offense going. And the surprising star was here, Jalen Warren, running all over the Browns a little bit in this one off of just 9 carries. He really had an explosive effort, and perhaps for Tomlin and the Steelers, if they gave him the ball more, could have been a different outcome. But late in the game, the Steelers were able to tie it up 10-10, leading to DTR having to have Dorian Thompson-Robinson, that is, from the 35, having to lead the Browns all the way down the field and to score a short field goal. And there they're able to come out on top. Final score of 13-10. Myles Garrett loves it. You love it. Everybody does. And don't forget, we got Thanksgiving football this week, featuring Packers, Lions, Cowboys, Commanders, and 49ers, Seahawks. Have fun with family, football, and food. And don't forget tonight as well, Monday night, between the Eagles and the Chiefs. Chiefs at home. I'll take the Chiefs 30-28. Till your next sports update. Have a great Thanksgiving, everyone. I'm Pat Sartor.
Keeping it up with Monday Night Football, apparently some Swifties in Philadelphia were not allowed to listen to their favorite artist this weekend. What happened between a radio station and Taylor Swift? Coming up.
I rescued Toast from a shelter in 2011. I love Toast because she's a lazy diva. Toast does whatever she wants, obviously. She's sleeping right now. She's an epic snuggler. She's so comforting. She's so loving. Toast makes me laugh. When I walked into the shelter, I knew right then that she was special.
Even if I tried, even if I wanted to.
The black truck? Hey, Christina from accounting.
Yeah, hi.
Hey, I used to date a girl named Christina.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and then she dumped me for my best friend. You want to see some photos of them that I took?
I don't.
I thought we talked about this, buddy.
Buzzed and overshared again?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna call a car.
That's a smart idea.
So yeah, I know, that's why I did it.
Hey, you're gonna get back to the top of the mountain.
Does that mean I'm gonna get back with Christina?
No.
Oh.
No.
Well, it's time to adventure into the unknown as Hong Kong Disneyland just opened its Frozen-themed land this morning. The new land brings the fictional kingdom of Arendelle to life. Cast members playing Elsa, Anna, and Kristoff will walk around interacting with guests, and a band will wander intermittently throughout the world of Frozen, playing music. Disney Imagineers spent nearly 3 years constructing this wonderful new adventure.
There was some battle between a Philadelphia radio station and Taylor Swift this weekend, with the guys on the chip and his brother taking on Monday Night Football match. Q102 has banned Swift music as a preparation for the match. Even though Swift is a Pennsylvania native and an Eagles fan, she's been supporting Travis Kelce and the Kansas City Chiefs. Swift won't be at the game tonight as she's in Brazil for the last night of the Eras Tour in Rio, and Swifties will be able to listen to her music on Q102 tomorrow.
I mean, I respect the shade, to be completely honest. I respect it. I don't know.
It's totally valid, because, I mean, I get that she's an Eagles fan, but she's also going for the City Chiefs.
Like you said, there's a lot of bad blood in that in the murky waters there,
Yeah.
but I think it's right. It's a sports atmosphere. It's controversial. It is what it is. But Q102, good on you. I don't know. I think that's kind of nice.
No, that's totally valid. I don't know. I heard that Pat was given for the Chiefs. I don't know about that one.
Oh, man.
Considering that Taylor won't be there. Well, that's all the time we have for you tonight at 6. Thank you so much for joining us.
Make sure to follow TV2 News on social media at KentWire to stay up to date with the latest tune into Sports Corner tonight at 8. I'm Don O'Brien.
And I'm Nuria Tertel. Have a great night, Portage County.
Kids will spend 15 minutes watching online videos like this one.
Brushing for 2 minutes now can save your child from severe tooth pain later. 2 minutes, twice a day. They have the time.